Welcome to another episode of the Illyrian podcast, where we engage great thinkers, shapers, and makers passionate about Africa and building responsibly for humanity in pursuit of wisdom, knowledge, and holistic prosperity.
March is the month where we get to celebrate women. This year at the Illyrian podcast, we'll mark it by having a conversation on women's beautiful, sacred, and creative spaces, looking at how we can take care of them from an African traditional perspective. To guide us with this conversation is Najar, Nyakio, an amazing thinker and doer, the founder of Womb Essence Teas and the My2 podcast. Najar, welcome to our podcast today.
Thank you so much.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
All right. Did you get lost on your way here?
No, I didn't. Sorry, your instructions and directions were good.
Oh, good to know. So beyond being a founder and being a podcast host, tell us, who's Najar?
So my name is Najar Nyakio Munyinyi, and I am a mother and a grandmother.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You look so good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Also the creator of the My2 podcast show, which is a show that deals with alternative healing methods for the African woman, both on the continent and in the diaspora. And I chose to do this because we as women in Africa, we have so many womb issues, and those issues are not really directly taught to us or told to us. And oftentimes they are also shunned. We are shunned as women when we speak about our experiences or our womb issues. We are told, no, just you don't have an issue. Yeah. So,
I think thinking about it, my parents, my aunties, they really never told me anything about my womb. Like beyond, here's money for pads or here's Panadol for your cramps. That's where our conversation begins and ends.
This is
Nothing
true.
more.
This is true because this happened to me as well when I was growing up.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't told anything about my womb.
All right.
Yeah.
So what got you started in this journey?
What got me started was when I was in my late 40s and I had so many issues with my womb. Yeah, because I had constant fibroids, constant period pain, high blood pressure.
Okay.
And I met a doctor who he made a rather uncomfortable, what he said was that it was needless of me to have gone through all the pain that I went through. Now I was 49.
Right.
So I looked at him and asked him, what do you mean by that? And he said, no, there's solutions. You didn't have to go through all this pain. And these solutions could have been given to you years ago. So that is what started my journey into Womb Essence Teas, and started my journey into womb healing. Yeah.
All right. So what do you usually tell your children that you do? I mean...
Oh, my kids know. They're not kids.
Or how would
They're
you
not
explain
kids.
this to a 10-year-old, or this is just an adult conversation?
Yes, this is not an adult conversation. Actually, this is a conversation for all women. What I call women, I don't call us women. I call us WOMB, men, womb men, because we have an extra organ, and that organ is the womb. So I call us womb men. And when we are born with a womb. In fact, the womb is created in the mother's womb. So when a woman is pregnant and she has a baby girl in her womb, that baby girl in her womb has a womb and has ova and ovaries. So when you're looking at a pregnant woman, you're actually looking at 3 generations. You're looking at the mother,
Okay.
You're looking at her daughter, and you're looking at her daughter who has within her over for her grandchildren. So that's 3 generations. So when I talk about the womb, I talk about this to all females, whatever age they are, from the age of 6 to the age of 150 or 130. I actually know a woman who is 130 years old right now.
Wow.
So the conversation which flows around the womb is to tell girls that they have this organ which is called a womb, and it's an extra organ. And that womb is specific to little girls. It's an extra organ. It's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's just a thing that girls have a womb. So it's a very natural conversation to tell girls, you know what? You have something which is called a womb. It's a womb organ. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with telling girls that they have what is called a womb.
All right.
Yeah.
So how would you advise women to start nurturing their womanness and taking care of the womb from an early stage?
Thank you for that question, because it's a very important question. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, I wasn't told anything about my womb when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Beyond that thing, like you said, that your aunties give you pads or they give you painkillers.
And tell you boys, don't play with boys now.
And tell you don't play with boys.
You can get pregnant.
And then they tell you that you're going to have something which is called a menstrual cycle, which you don't even understand where it's coming from. So that conversation should actually begin when a girl is as young as 6 years old.
All right.
And we need to tell our children this. You know, when I was raising my children, I was in an environment where we were allowed to talk to our children freely.
Okay.
And tell them, this is a girl and this is a boy, and the difference between a girl and a boy, you know.
That goes beyond sexual organs.
Exactly. Okay.
And sex.
Yes. So without even using the word sex, okay, we'd say these are girls and these are boys, right? Just to tell them that there is a difference, not a good difference, not a bad difference, just that there's a difference. And over here, let me explain this a little bit. And I will use an example of a car.
Yeah.
You have a Volkswagen Beetle.
I love German cars.
And you have a Volkswagen. What else does Volkswagen make? They make Beetles, and they also make the latest Beetle. So there's a difference between one and the other. Yeah. Nothing good, nothing bad. It is just that there's a difference. Or let's talk about houses. You can have a house over here, which is designed in this particular way, and there's another house which is designed to have 3 bedrooms. Both are houses. One has 2 bedrooms, one has 3 bedrooms. Yeah. Nothing good, nothing bad. Okay? It is just pointing out the differences and the similarities. So the differences and the similarities are that girls have a womb organ and boys don't have a womb organ. They have the
penis.
Okay. That is the main difference.
Yeah.
So when I taught this to my children, they grew up from the age of 6.
Okay.
7, 8, 9, 10, all the way to their teens. They knew that there was a difference between what?
A boy
and a girl.
Yeah.
Now, when my daughters reached the age of their menstrual flow, there was no hiding it. Therefore, I would put the pads in the bathroom. And when we went shopping to buy pads, excuse me, even the boy, my son, he knew, and he'd remind us, oh, we haven't gone down that section to buy the pads for you guys, you know. He also knew that often, whenever we had our periods, we would be in pain. And from a very early age, he would bring us water or whatever it is that we needed to say, such men. To say, I'm sorry, here, you know, or I'm sorry about how you're feeling, okay? I hope the pain goes away soon. Or where's your medicine? Can I bring it to you? Why did he do this? Because he knew from a very young age that there was a difference between boys and girls.
That's really
and
smart.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So how do we take care of that? Like in addition to taking care of our medicine, what else do we need to be cognizant of as women as we are growing up in that section?
Okay, so one of the things which I was told when I was growing up by a doctor is that, unfortunately, I started to have very heavy period pains, and they were excruciating. Mm-hmm. So my mother, as all mothers do, took me to the doctor. Mm. And this is something which happens up until today. Now, I was speaking to, there's a young lady that I was speaking to, and I say young because she's about 22. She's about 22, and she told me that she went to the doctor, and the doctors told her that there's nothing that they can do with her period pain. Mm. She needs to give birth. Now, I said, halt right there. You see, that young lady is 22 today. I am 60 years old. When I was in my teens, at 12 years old, do the math, I was told at 12 years old by a doctor, oh, you have period pain. There's nothing that we can do about it. You have to give birth. Where's the medical field? Why are they telling us the same thing? How many years later? Where's the progression?
100 plus?
Where's the progression?
Yeah.
You know, they should be some form of progression, but there has been no progression whatsoever. The answer is the same. You know, you have to give birth to stop your period pain. So going back to what I was told by a doctor when I was in my 40s, the fact that I did not have to suffer so much pain, that is what led me to begin talking to women, or women as I call them, and telling them, hey, there's a way out of this. You don't have to suffer in pain. You do not have to suffer in pain. And what is the process? Mm-hmm. And now this is the process. Mm-hmm. The process is that we have so many organic and natural plants all around us in Africa. Mm-hmm. And this is knowledge which our mothers and our grandmothers and our great-grandmothers used to have.
Okay.
They used to tell us, hey, if you feel like this, you see that plant over there, you know, that one over there, you go and take that plant and then you will feel good. Or if you have a cold, take that plant over there. You take it, you boil it, and then it will make you feel better. Or if you have a fever, take this or that plant over there, and when you have your fever will go down.
Yeah.
So this is truth, right? That we have plant medicine in Africa, which are cures. So this is the direction that I went. Okay. I went into the direction of which plants are these that can help us as women to stop the constant pain that we get from our wombs.
Okay.
Surely there is a solution there somewhere.
Absolutely.
Because our parents used to use it, our grandparents used to use it, our grandmothers used to use it. So what's the gap? What are we missing? Yes. Yes. Why are we not using these traditional herbs and traditional plants to help ourselves and to stop our pains? Yeah, so that's the question which I ask, and that's the question which I solved with the womb essence teas.
All right. So for someone who's not able to access womb essence, what are some of the remedies that you'd recommend for, just for women out here, for African women who are listening? And what are some of the maybe key things to include in the diet, or just, is it nutritional elements?
Yes, it
to
is.
factor in the
Yes.
diet as women,
Yes.
as before they get to your womb essence tea?
Well, one of the first things is not even what to take, it is what not to take.
Oh, all right.
There are many fast foods. Let me just start there. And I hope, no, this is okay. Huh? We can do it, huh? We can do it?
Yes.
Okay. So fast foods are really nasty towards the health of a womb. Why? Because fast foods don't contain any nutrients. Now, what we need to understand is the way that the womb organ works. The womb organ works, it's very hormonal.
Okay.
It's always giving out these hormones and impulses. It says, this is the time to do this is the time to do that, this is the time to do the other thing. Okay? There are actually 4 phases of the womb cycle.
All right.
Yeah? So in each phase, yeah, there's hormones which are within the woman, which are telling the womb, do this and then stop, do that and then stop, do this and then stop, and do that and then stop. Now, where are those hormones? How are they supported? They're supported by what we eat or don't eat. Therefore, when we have a diet which is made up of fast foods, we know that fast foods have zero what?
Nutrients.
And completely zero nutrients.
Okay.
So if you give your daughter a Fanta, are you helping her with her womb? You're not. And what happens is that the womb now, it's busy looking for those nutrients so it can function.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't get the nutrients. So what does it do? It gives a signal that it doesn't have those nutrients. And that signal is pain. Let me give you an example of a car.
Okay.
When you're driving a car and you want to go to the right, what do?
Signal.
You signal.
Yeah.
You signal so that the person behind you will know that you intend to turn to the right, so that they don't get a shock. And you just, matatus do it all the time, and so do border borders. But the point is this, that you're supposed to signal and turn to the right,
Yeah.
or you signal that you're turning to the left.
Sure.
Now, within a car also, there are those indicators. For example, the oil indicator or the petrol indicator.
Yeah.
And what they do is that they usually light up. They go red or they go orange, or the fuel tank, it goes towards,
Okay.
there's towards E, from F to E. Our bodies are the same, both male and female. For example, if you break your finger, for example, say you broke your finger, what is the indicator that you've broken your finger?
Pain.
Pain. Pain is an indicator that you're supposed to look. It tells you, boss, there's something wrong. So you better look and see. And then when you look and see that your finger is broken, you're like, aha, I need to fix this.
Sure.
So pain is an indicator that something is wrong. So when we have womb pain, what is it?
The deficiencies that we need to look into.
Exactly.
All right.
So diet is very important.
All right. So you've said don't take
fast foods and don't give fast foods to your daughters
All right.
from a very early age. Just don't. Don't give them Jawis. Don't give them Fanta. Don't give them Coke. Okay? Don't give them hamburgers. Don't give them... The list is long. Listen.
There's this one. I use Coke to treat period pains. Like the people who use...
Okay. N-O. Coke, no.
And Crest and Sprite.
No.
Okay.
No. What nutrients does it have?
We are told that it just helps with...
It helps how?
We don't know, but the pain reduces.
No, it does not reduce.
Okay.
Because if it reduces, why are you taking it again and again and again?
All right.
The pain comes back, right?
Sure. Okay, so fast food.
So it doesn't help.
True. True.
So fast foods, junk foods.
Okay.
Anything which is manufactured in a factory. You know, all those crisps and popcorns and things like that, which have zero nutrients. Those are the things that we're not supposed to give to our daughters. Even to our sons, actually. Even to our sons. Okay, so it's not just our daughters. But in all honesty, we have for a very long time, as parents, made the mistake of not giving our children proper nutritional foods. Yeah? We've been a bit... we have not. Yeah? We've lacked. So nutritional food is very important. And the nutritional food, when we go back to it, what we find that it is, it's all the greens, all the things that are fresh foods, organic foods, fruits. Yeah? And it's very easy to do this. It's also very important to be aware of what oils that you're using.
All right.
Yeah? When you're cooking your foods. And how much sugar your children are taking. They should not take sugars. There's enough sugar in fruits that we do not need added sugars in our foods, especially for very young children, between 0 and 12 years old. Okay?
Yeah.
Also remember that these organs of theirs are very, very, very tiny. You know, they're tiny, you know. A child is 6 years old. So your organ is like this small.
Yeah.
Yeah? Whatever it is. You know, your liver, your what. So if you think about putting a teaspoon of sugar in an organ which is this small,
You're destroying it.
you're destroying it. So natural foods, organic foods, herbs, spices, all the spices, fruits. And yes, that is what to look for in order to have a healthy womb, and also for the boys, a healthy body.
All right. Okay. Any nutritional supplements that we need to be cognizant of? There's a time I was being told by someone that I need to ensure I have magnesium supplements.
Produced.
So, but then I think my dad was not very good. So he recommended get magnesium supplements, and then gradually it's going to balance off, and then you'll be fine. The period pains will reduce.
Okay, so the good thing about our natural organic foods, which are found in plentiful in Africa, is that they are packed full of all the nutrients. Now, and vitamins.
Yeah.
Okay, it's vital minerals actually. The word is vital minerals. So I did a course. I did 3 courses actually regarding herbs and supplements.
All right.
Okay, especially the herbs that should be used towards our wellness, because where I was coming from is that women are not in this field so much. The ones who are in the field are men. And the men, I went around asking in Kenya. And herbalists are very stingy. They are so stingy. They don't want to tell you their secrets. So what I decided to do was that I decided that I'm going to take some courses. And I took two courses from America and one from India. Now, the ones from America, I was shocked. Do you know why I was shocked? Because all their herbs and spices, they get them from Africa.
Interesting.
They come and they take everything from Africa. And then they go to America and they bottle them and then they sell them back to us. So all these minerals and supplements and things like that, the original of most of them are from Africa.
All right.
Now, I also know this because I'm an environmentalist and I wrote a book on trees and healing herbs as well. And many of these herbs, they are indigenous to this continent. They're also indigenous to, and I'm sure everybody has heard this, a place which is called Zanzibar. Now, Zanzibar used to be known as what? The Spice Island of the world.
Okay.
Spice Island of what?
The world.
The world. So, all the spices which grow
In Zanzibar.
in Zanzibar, they also grow along our coastline.
Okay.
They also grow within our plains. They also grow within our forests. They also grow in places like the Congo, in Uganda, in Rwanda. Are you getting the progression now?
Yeah.
So these are things which are available to us naturally. And yet, for a long time, we have been told we can't eat from our own ground. We can't eat these herbs and spices. We can't use them.
Yeah.
But these are the same things which our parents and grandparents used to use. So rather than go into a shop today and look for a supplement, what I would do is I would find out which plant will supply me the same,
Yeah.
the same, whatever it is that I need. And then I'll go for that. So of late, there's been a lot of taking moringa tea, taking even mango leaf tree. Those are very good. Hibiscus tea. Hibiscus, you can use either the leaves themselves, the flowers,
All right.
or the leaves. Then for moringa, it's the same. You use the leaf, but you can also use the bark. Then there's, what else is there?
And this is for women's one
This is
thing.
for women and men.
Oh, okay.
We're all human beings.
Right.
Yeah. But specifically for the womb, right? Yes. There's hibiscus, there's moringa, there's ginger, there's cinnamon. There's some who use garlic a lot. And then there's also, guess what? There's cocoa or cacao.
Chocolate.
Not chocolate.
Oh.
Cacao. Chocolate is a product, but yes. Cacao. The cacao plant, yes.
That's good to know. So for period pains, what would you recommend?
For period pains, I would recommend moringa. I would recommend hibiscus. I would recommend ginger. And yeah.
All right.
No, and turmeric.
Okay. Good to know. Curious to know, is there a spiritual side to the womb? Like in addition to it just being an additional organ, is there a way to connect to the wisdom of our wombs as women?
So, like I told you, I have what is called the Mito podcast show. And on the show, I talk about the womb being that gateway and that door to 3 parts of us, which is the physical, the spiritual, and the mental.
All right.
So yes, the womb is a gateway for the 3. And when we talk about the spiritual, what are we talking about? We're talking about things that we can't see. Yeah. We're talking about things that we cannot see.
Like what?
Even an atom, we can't see an atom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're talking about energies. We're talking about positive energy and negative energy. We're talking about the fact that energy cannot be created and it cannot be killed. What energy does is that it transforms. It changes its frequency levels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, there's some people who are very sensitive to energies. And that energy is called being sensitive to it.
Yeah.
Is how it is called, like being aware of people's vibrations. And in short form, some people call it a vibe. So there are people who can walk into a particular room and they can say, I don't like the vibes in that room. So I'm walking out. Yeah. And when you ask them, they tell you, the vibes were low. And then, or they tell you, I don't like the vibration of that particular person.
All right.
Yeah. I just don't like the vibes that they're releasing. You know? That is the spiritual side of the womb. Okay? Because you cannot see a vibration. You cannot see energy. Well, there are some who can, but that's a topic for another day. But what you can feel is that you can feel somebody's energy. And for a very long time, the connection between the womb and vibrations is what is called the woman's instincts. When a woman says that she feels something, and like I said, this is a conversation for another day because it can go very, very deep.
Okay.
Yeah?
We're here for depth.
This one can go very deep.
Happy to explore the womb
Because
to its depth.
Because a lot of women, especially when they're in conversations with men, they say that there are certain vibrations that they feel. And the men, not to negate them, they say, but how can you feel that? Well, the reason why they feel it is because they have a womb. And the womb is pretty big, you know? Well, it's bigger than your eye. Yeah? So it feels that vibration. So when women say, but I'm feeling it in my gut, I've got that gut instinct, it's coming from the womb. And that's very, very spiritual. Because there are women who will not do something or who will believe something from their gut. And that feeling is very, very real. It cannot be negated. Now, the reason that most men say that it cannot be real is because they themselves do not have a womb. And it's akin to this. A woman can in no way describe to another woman how it feels to have a penis because she does not have one.
I see.
Okay? Yeah. But a woman knows what a gut and womb feeling is because she has a womb. So when she talks to another woman and she says, you know what, I've got this feeling in my gut, the next woman will understand it. And that's why I call us womb men. I repeat that again. But the man, he will be clueless. So he's going to be arguing with you back and forth and saying, no, you're not feeling this thing. But the woman knows what she's feeling. And this is very important for us to understand because it's very spiritual. It's very spiritual, like you said. Yeah? So there's that spiritual connection. Yeah? There's that instinctiveness. And that instinctiveness also comes about because the womb itself, you see, the liver has nerve endings which connect it to the brain.
Liver. The liver.
Yeah, the liver.
Okay, to the brain.
Okay, to the brain. The eyes to the brain. the lungs to the brain,
Okay.
the nose to the brain, the pancreas to the brain, the womb to the who?
To the brain.
Yes. And those are very many nerves. You know why? Because that womb in itself grows human beings. And therefore, those nerves that are connected to the womb are so very many. Ooh, they're many. Because when the baby is growing, the brain has to keep supplying oxygen, this, that, and the other, because it's working. It's a work in progress, okay? So the womb itself is so connected to the brain. Therefore, when the womb feels something, the first thing it does is it tells the brain, it's like this. But because men don't have that, they say, it can't be for real. Because they don't have that womb. So this is something that women need to understand. And this is something that the world needs to understand. That when a woman feels a certain way, it is for real.
And something that we need to learn how to honor.
Yes.
As women and nurture as well.
Yes.
That womb-mind connection.
Yes. From a very early age.
Yeah.
From 6 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old, 9, 10, 11. So that they learn to listen to their wombs. Now, the more you listen to something, the more you train a muscle. And we've been told this even when we're going in sports, even when we're when we're learning, the mind. We're told that the reason that deaf people, when they're older, why they become deaf, is because they're in situations where they are not listening anymore. They are kept away from the family. They don't have children around them. So those receptor areas which were hearing before, that you were hearing a child crying, or you were in the office and you're hearing this and that and the other.
It dies.
It dies because when you are retired and when you're older, all you're doing is just sitting at home doing nothing. Or, And you find that they become deaf because those receptors begin switching off because they're not needed anymore. When we are training something, the more we use it, the more we use that muscle, the more it begins working. And the more blood is sent there and signals are sent there that this thing should be working. So when we tell our girls from 6 years old, and our boys as well, they should know. So when we tell both of them that this is a womb, this is how it works, this is the function.
Yeah.
From 6 years old, are you seeing? 7 years old, they'll grow up. 8, 9, 10. And that is where you begin with teaching our children, that the womb is a very important organ and not to skip out on it. Yeah. So it's important, it's as important as the liver, as important as the heart, as important as the eyes. Yeah? Just because it's in there and you can't see it, it doesn't mean that it's not important. So yes, it's very important to train up a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we've talked about the spiritual bit. Can you touch a bit on the emotional side of things for the womb as a gateway?
As a gateway, so emotions. What are emotions? Emotions are energy in motion.
Okay.
Yeah, and energy, like I said before, is something which you cannot destroy. What it does, it just changes form. So it's either positive or it's negative.
Okay.
It can, and in both being positive and being negative, it can range from weak to very strong to very powerful.
It's a continuum.
Yeah, there's a continuum. So whether it is negative or whether it is positive, there's that continuum.
Spectrum, yeah.
Now, as women, most of our energy is in the womb. A lot of our energy is in the womb. And this is going to make a lot of people raise their eyebrows. Anyway, it is the truth. So the womb is a generator of energy.
Okay.
And the energy that it generates is the energy of a fetus, a baby, both a girl or a boy.
Yeah.
And that energy is then materialized into the physical when she gives birth. So that energy, which wasn't there before, then becomes generated into a baby, and the baby is born.
Yeah.
Within the same, what do we call those that we give birth to?
Children?
Generations.
Oh, right. Okay.
So the womb is a generator. And it creates generations. And these generations are in our body, and we call them genes. Gene. Yeah.
All right.
So this is the energy of the womb. And like I had said before we started, when we were chatting, the womb, the woman, when she is born, she's born for that function.
To generate.
To generate energy, to generate generations. That's her focus. That's her being. That's her entire being. So she generates a lot of energy. Now, what about those women who don't give birth?
Yeah.
Ooh, then you have your artists, you have your musicians, you have your architects, you have your designers, you have your authors, you have your everything, right? So you have women who are in all areas of life, within Africa and outside Africa as well. Black and brown women. We're doing magnificent stuff. The only thing is that we're not being honored for it.
Okay.
However, things are changing now, and we are being honored for what we're doing. In the same way that we can produce positive energy to build, we can also produce what? Negative energy. So you'll find that there are women who are very negative and very powerful in their negativity. So when you stand over there, you can look at a woman and you can say, aha, so this is how this woman is using her energy and her emotions. And this is how this other woman is using her negativity and her energy and her emotions. So it is up to us to decide, which way are we going to go? Are we going to use our energy positively? Or are we going to use our energy negatively? It's within us. We can decide.
All right.
So me, I say choose the fun way. Choose laughter, choose joy, choose love. Don't choose negative energy.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe this is something we'll get into off the podcast.
Okay.
But it would be good to know how our sexual activity affects our energy.
Maybe off the podcast.
Okay.
Let's have that as a separate conversation.
Or I think if you want more, you can get to join her WhatsApp group where you can get to learn more about your woman, your womb as a human, as a lady, and also more things, more intimate things that, we're getting to know today. So I think what I've heard is that the womb does contribute to our emotional and psychological well-being as women.
Yes, it does.
And that is something that we need to be cognizant of.
Very, very cognizant of, because I'll give an example. A woman who has a lot of pain in her womb, she will focus on that pain because wherever she is, she's focusing on her period pain. And this period pain comes every 28 days.
Yeah.
So every 28 or 30 days, what is that woman focused on? She's focused on her pain.
Yeah.
Now, when we are in pain, we are in trauma. That's number one. We are in trauma.
All right.
And we are running away from trauma. So what do? We use crutches.
Panadol. So Panadol is a crutch.
Alcohol, any drugs, tramadol,
Okay.
right?
Ponstan.
Those are crutches
Okay.
because you're running away from the pain.
Brufen. That's a crutch.
It's a crutch.
That's my favorite.
It's a crutch.
All right.
Yeah. Now, I don't want to mention any names, but you know that guy, MJ, who passed away because of drug overdose? Painkillers? This is what the woman does not understand, right? That if her womb is not well, she's not well in any of her ways. None of her ways. Because every 28 days, she's looking for a way to move away from the pain because you don't want that pain. You don't want the pain. I mean, for example, we're telling women who are in abusive relationships to walk away from that abusive relationship. What is that abusive relationship causing her? Pain.
Yeah.
Pain and trauma. So when we are talking about womb pain, we have to realize that when we take Panadols and when we take Brufen, you said Brufen, yeah? When we take Ponstan, when we take Tramadol, when we take alcohol, because there are women who take alcohol, soda, okay? And you're swallowing all these painkillers. Every 28 days, you have trauma. We talk about when women are in abusive relationships with men. We tell them to their faces, get away from the man who is beating you, or get away from the domestic situation that is causing you so much pain and trauma. What about the womb? What are we saying? Should we cut it out? No. What we should do is that we should give relief to that pain. And how do we give relief to the pain? We give relief to the pain by supporting the womb. And now we've come right back round to our diets. So this is very important, even as a woman, to understand that what you're eating affects your emotion, it affects your pain, it affects your trauma, it affects the way you think. Because when you're on all these drugs, when you're on all this sugar, right? All these drugs and sugars, they're telling your mind, they're sending signals to your mind. So you're acting out of what? You're acting out of the messaging which is being given by the drugs, being given by the Fantas, being given by the Coca-Colas and the Crests and the alcohols and the Tramadols. That is what your mind is acting out. So every 28 days or every 30 days, you're not yourself. You're on Tramadol. So you're not yourself. You're somebody else. You are not yourself. You are that drug, whatever that drug is.
Wow.
So it's important to realize this and to get away from it. And that is why I say be very aware of what you're putting into your body and be very aware about the womb and the womb pain itself. So heal your womb. Heal your womb first before you even start healing anything else. Heal your womb first. Because remember, all those brain signals, like I said, the womb is so wired. So all these messages are going constantly to the womb.
Wow. I think there's a lot to be unpacked from what you've said. And we've come to the end of our conversation. And one of the things that we are passionate about is how can we nurture better the next generation? So from where you're sitting, what do you think needs to be given to the African child in the early years of development?
So thank you for that question. That's a very good question because currently we have been told that we're focusing on the girl child, right?
Apparently.
But we're not really focusing on her.
Mm-hmm.
We are not focusing on who she is. We're trying to push her into a box instead of letting her be. We're trying to tell her, do this, do that, do the other. We're not listening to her. And this is something which many young ladies tell me today. They say that they're not heard. They're just told, do this, do that, do the other. The focus is on the girl child. So do this. The focus is on the girl child. But the girl child is not being listened to. So I think we need, right now, to start asking the girl child about her stories, her creativity. What is it that she wants to do? Not put her in a box and say, oh, we've created this thing for you, so can you go into it? No, ask her, what is it that she wants to do? Nurture her. If you see that she's going this way, that she wants to be a dancer, listen to her and tell her, okay, nurture that. So we're not listening to our girls. We're also not listening, especially to our girls' pain. Like I said at the beginning of this program, yeah? We have girls who are in pain. They go to the doctors and the doctors are telling them, oh, just get pregnant.
Start using contraceptives, actually.
Start using
contraceptives at a very early age.
They are not listening to the girls. The girls are coming and crying for help. So don't use what has been done for the past 60 years. Focus on that girl. She's asking for help. She's coming to you and she's saying, this is the situation. So don't rush to say, use something which has been used for the last 60 years, which is not working. Because let me tell you something. I got children. I got 3 children, and still my womb pain did not go. It did not. But I still got my 3 children. And I still had period pain all the way until I was 49. So, until I treated it. Yeah? So we are not listening to our girl child. And our girl child also has so many solutions, but we're not listening to her. So what I think we should do as we are going forward is to take a step back and say, okay, now we've created all these spaces. So now, girl, hey, girl, what do you want? Speak. We're here to listen. We've been given 2 ears and 1 mouth. So it's time for us to keep quiet a little bit and to listen to this new girl, because this new girl, she really, really knows what she wants. And she can really fix things for herself, for her mother, for her aunties, and for her children when she grows up.
What about the boy child?
Okay.
We can
the boy child, okay. We can make it a wrap.
Yeah.
We have defocused from the boy child. And it's very sad that we have defocused from the boy child. And I will say that primarily the fault lies, sadly, with us women. Because we have defocused from our sons. We have forgotten that as mothers, as maitos, as women, that we give birth to boys and that we need to instruct these boys in how to treat their mothers, how to treat their sisters, and how to treat their cousins, how to treat their grandmothers. You see, boys do not know, I've just said it before, they don't have a womb. So they don't know how to interact with women. It is up to the mother to teach her boy how to interact with women. It's up to the mother to tell the boy, you know what? We women are like this. We women are like that. We women have this. We women have that.
Yeah.
But we have not taught them, have we? So the issues which we are having today with the boy child are because we neglected him. We neglected him, which is very sad. We're so busy focusing on the girl child that we forgot to focus on who? The boy child. So it is up to us women to refocus on the boy child and to listen to him as well. And to teach him about the woman. So when he grows up, he doesn't grow up in a vacuum of wondering, what is this that I married? Or, like a lot of women say, and they say this to mothers all the time, what are you raising? Because when I get married to this man, when I get married to your son, now I have to teach him about me. But it was your job as a mother to teach him about me, about women. But our boys really don't know about women. They don't even know about the periods. They don't even know about the menstrual cycle. They don't know anything about women. So that is why there are so many issues which are arising today. So yes, I think we as women need to take that bull by the horns like this and start focusing not only on the girl child, but also on the boy child and teaching about who we are as women.
That marks the end of our podcast today. We hope that you found this episode insightful and inspiring. Until next time, take care, stay curious, and let's keep building responsibly.